Hi guys, welcome to this Microsoft Access course. In this session we're going to look at an update query, but before we do that let's just quickly recap our data. If I double click on table address details, you can see the details that we have, the data address details. The update query that I'm going to create is going to look at a city, a particular city, and then update that date. So I'll close that and then select Create Query Design, double click on Address Details, close this box, and then bring the fields down that you want to update. So I want to update date checked, double click, by city, double click. Now to activate the update feature, you would need to click Update on the query type part of the ribbon. So Update. The rows change to reflect the update query. So I could type a fixed date in date checked, and I could type a fixed city in the criteria line, and it would update by those two things. However, that is not very dynamic, so I'm going to use a parameter query for date checked and type enter the date as a prompt, and then for the city, on the second line down, criteria line, enter the city as a prompt. So when I run this query, it will ask me to put the date that I want to enter, which is be today's date, which is the 30th of September 2019. Press and enter. Now it's asking me for the city. Type in Bradford, click OK. It tells me that I'm about to update 8 rows. Say yes, but it doesn't show me the answer, which is what would normally happen if it was a select query. So to see whether this query has worked, I'm going to have a look at the table, Bradford, date. So it has worked, but I only see it by opening the table. And then I can run that query as many times as I require, each time changing the date or the city or both. If I save this query, say yes to that, QRY update, you'll see that the icon is slightly different to the select queries that we've used so far. And when I open it, it tells me or warns me, warning that I'm running an update query. Yes, this time I will put the 25th of December 2020. Okay, and then enter Leeds as a city. Okay, it tells me that I have updated 3 rows. Yes, and again I will have to open the table, look at Leeds, and then you see the date there for each record in Leeds. So that example there was an update query. Now if I right click and just go back into that, I could have added all the fields across the top there and it would have still worked, but when you're doing an update query, I think it's better just to show the fields that are involved in the query itself. Now the next query we're going to look at is a CrossTab query. So click and create. This time I'm using the query wizard. CrossTab. Okay. I am still using address details. I could use a query, tables, or both, but I am going to use address details. Next. So this time I am going to take city across, which will come there. Go next, and surname. I'll go back one there because I double clicked surname, so it comes across the top. And then next, and count staff ID. So this CrossTab query is going to list the cities and then count each surname. So if there was 2 Smiths, 3 Joneses and so on and so on by city. Next, I'm going to leave it as a CrossTab default. Click Finish, and then it displays the cities and how many people of a particular surname lives in that city. So there are 3 Smiths, for example, that live in Bradford. When you close that query, it doesn't ask you to save it, but it does save it there. So that was a CrossTab query. The next query I'm going to show you is a calculation in a query. Now, in an earlier session, we imported table staff details, or we created a table called staff details. If I select design for this table and add a salary field, set it to currency, save, have a quick look, and then type a figure in there, 30,000. I can then use this table to work out people's salary. I'll create a second person so you can see it on more than one row. Date joined 0110, and his salary is 25,000, and so on. Close this table, create a query, query design, selecting the table, staff details, OK, add in all the fields, drag it and drop in. Now to create a calculated field in a query, basically click into the end of this query by example grid and give it a title. But first off, I need to zoom up. The F2 function key is a zoom control in Access. So the title is going to be monthly salary. Then I need to do colon, and then I need to refer to a field. So the field in this case is the salary field inside square brackets. And it's a simple calculation, divide by 12. Click OK to that. Just check that that works. Run. That has worked but needs formatting into currency. So that's in the properties sheet. Format currency. Have a look. There we go. Now if we do one more, just hide that for a moment. Let's Shift F2, zoom up. Let's call this one take home pay, colon. So this is going to look at monthly salary and take the tax off. And let's say for this example the tax is 23%. So in square brackets you refer to monthly salary, close square brackets, and then times 0.77. So that will take off 23%. Click OK to that. Format that to currency. Currency. Check it. And there you go, it's taken off the tax. Now, you can do calculations as you've just seen there at query level. I've already shown you that you can do some simple calculations at table level. You can also do them on forms and reports. The process is similar wherever you do them. I tend to prefer to do calculations at query level, but it's totally up to you. That is the end of this session. I hope you've enjoyed this session, and I look forward to hearing from you or seeing you on the next video.